Math 3, Unit 9, Section 2. So yesterday we did problems like this, where we said 5 to what power is 25? 5 to what power is 25? And we knew the answer was 2. Okay, this what power is actually a logarithm. Okay, and so if you look here, this chart is kind of helpful, but so we know that the little b for the logarithm equation, so this what power thing yesterday, these are basically the same thing. And so the 5 represents your base. Okay, the answer here is your exponent, and then the number answer and n go here. So they kind of go back and forth. So we can change things from exponential equations to logarithm equations and back and forth. Okay, and so for instance, this example here, log base 5 of 125, that is saying 5 to what power is 125, and we know that answer is 3. This can be rewritten right here as 5 to the third power equals 125. So this is the log form, and this is the exponential form. And we're going to end up solving equations, changing things back and forth between log form and exponential form. So on this example right here, what is my base? So the base is always that smaller number where you end up changing it. So it would be 5. What is the exponent? 3, okay? 5 to the third power, 3 is our exponents. Okay, and so these next examples, we just want to be able to rewrite these log functions as exponential functions. Okay, and so this one right here would be rewritten as the base would be 5. The exponent would be what? 1/2, good, equals, and then the answer is what's right here, which is root 5. Is 5 to the 1/2 power root 5? Yes. Okay, here. Okay, 3 to the -2 power equals 1/9. So you're always taking the base of the log. So in this case it was 3. This number over here is your exponent, and then this number right here is your number answer. Okay, on these next ones, we want to change the exponential into log form. So I'm going to give you just a few seconds here, maybe 30 seconds. Try to rewrite this in log form. Okay, so if we're writing in log form, it would be log. What would be the base for the log, the small number? 2. Good. And then you always put what the answer would be next, which in this case would be 32 equals 5. Okay, on the next one, it would be log base what? Okay, well, one thing is that log base 10 is like kind of your general form. Most logs are in base 10, and so if you don't want to write base 10, you don't have to, or if you ever see a log written and it doesn't have a base, it's base 10. Okay, so we're going to write this 2 ways, but we'll start with log base 10 is what? What would be the next part here? Good. Equals what? -3. So this problem could also be written as just log of 0.001 equals -3. So it just doesn't have the little base here. And so anytime it's missing the base, we know it's going to be base what? 10. Okay? But if you want to write base 10, that's fine. It doesn't matter. All right, so these next ones, they want us to evaluate the following logarithms. If needed, you can write it as an equivalent exponential equation. So on this one, it is saying 6 to what power equals 216. So do you guys know what that answer is? So we know it's going to be 6 to some power, right? And so you can even kind of go in your head, but 6 to the second power is 36. And if you multiply by another 6, yep, it's 216. So therefore, what is my answer? 3. Okay, because we're trying to find what the power is, correct? And so we know the power to make this a true statement is 3. And so this answer is 3. So you can write it just as 3. You could write it as x equals 3, but we know that log base 6 of 216, the answer is 3. Okay, on this one, how would I write that in exponential form? What would I do? 4 to what power, or x, equals 256. So we know it's going to be 4 to some power. You could use your calculators if you wanted to like play around with it, but we know 4 to the second power is 16. We know that 4 to the third power is 64, and 4 to the fourth power is 256. So therefore, what is this answer? 4. Very good. Okay, the next one, how will I write it? Good. 5 to the x equals 1. 5 to what power equals 1? 0. Very good. Okay, next one, how will I write it?
2 to the power of 2 to x equals 1/4.
Very good. 2 to the x equals 1/4. Now, for some people, this is confusing because of the fraction. If that's you, okay, and some of you can just figure this out, which is great. But what I do is 4 is 2 to what power? 2 to the second. And if I want to get rid of this fraction and bring it up, how would I end up rewriting it? 2 to the negative 2. So do you see now how these have the like bases and they're in the same spots? So we know that this answer is actually what? Negative 2. Any questions so far? Okay, let's go ahead and turn the page. All right, so how will I rewrite this next one? 7 to the x power, or 7 to what power, equals, very good, the cubed root of 7. So again, if this is confusing to you, change this into exponential form so that you have 7 as your base. So how can I change it from root form to exponential form? It'll be 7 to what power? Very good. 1/3 is correct. Okay, because the 7 has a power of 1, if it's not saying what it is, and then the root is 3. And so remember that the root part goes in the denominator, and the power part goes at the top in the numerator. So therefore, this answer is what? 1/3. Okay, this one doesn't have the base. So what is the base? 10. So remember, it's always base 10 if it doesn't state the base. So if I'm rewriting this, this is saying 10 to what power equals 10 to the 5th. So what's the answer? 5. Okay, now there are log equations. This right here, this is saying ln, okay? That stands for natural log. Did I spell natural right? Okay. Natural log. Okay, it is just another form of logs, except for natural logs are always base e. E is like pi, which is an irrational number. You'll actually see it on your calculators if you wanted to go and check. And so this one is not telling you right now, because natural log will never tell you it's base e because it's always base e. Okay? And so when you rewrite this one in exponential form, it is going to be e to what power equals root e. Very good. 1/2 is the correct answer. And if I rewrite it here, we have e to the x equals, if we change that into exponential form, we know that this e, if there's no exponent, has a 1. And when the root doesn't tell us what it is, it's a 2. And so that's how we change that to 1/2 and get that answer. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute here to figure out this answer. All right, so let's first try to change it. Natural log is always what base? E. And so if I'm rewriting this one, it's going to be what? E to what power equals, and this part is always the answer, so that's 1 over e to the third power. Now, how do I make it so that the 1 over e to the third is no longer a fraction? Very good. So we'd rewrite this as e to the x equals e to the negative third. When you want to take this and bring it up to the top, you can add in the negative exponent. Okay? And so therefore my answer is just negative 3. How many of you guys got that right on your own? Well done. Good job. Okay, so next we're going to talk about approximating logs. So if you look here, please focus, this part's important. If you were to rewrite log base 2 of 10 in exponential form, you would have 2 to the x equals 10. So can you think of a power that would end up making 10? And the answer is no, like you can't figure out 2 to what power is 10. But we do know that 2 to the third power is 8, and we know that 2 to the fourth power is 16. So therefore the value of x for this answer is going to be something in between 3 and 4. So we can approximate by knowing these values that it's in between. Does that make sense? So if we rewrite this one in exponential form, okay, how would I write this? Log base 3 of 25. Good. 3 to what power equals 25? And so then I would just start listing, and I oftentimes will start with 1, but you can start wherever you want to. 3 to the first power is 3. 3 to the second power is 9. 3 to the third power is, therefore this answer is between what values? Good, and that's it. We're just going to write 2 and 3. You can write between 2 and 3 if you want to, but it's asking you between what numbers. And so 2 and 3. Okay, on the next one, how would I rewrite that problem? 7 to what power equals 9?
You have to rewrite it, so we'll just answer one.
You can just answer them, that's fine. 7 to the first is 7. 7 to the second is 49. And so this answer is between 1 and 2. I know that one was really tough. Okay, and this last one here, I'm going to give you a minute to try it on your own. And you can show me on your fingers what you think the two numbers it's between. Good. Good. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Good. Perfect. Okay, so the majority of you guys got it right. Some of you are not responding to me, but I'll forgive you today. Okay. So when I rewrite this, I would write it as 3 to what power equals 200? Okay, so 3 to the first is 3. 3 to the second is 9. 3 to the third is 27. 3 to the fourth is 81. 3 to the fifth power is 243. And you guys, even if you don't have a calculator, you can go and write 81 times 3 and you can multiply. What? Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Okay, and so what two numbers is it between? 4 and 5. Well done. Okay, lastly, for this set of notes, they want us to find the y-intercept for the following functions. Now, for all problems that we've done this year, when we are trying to find the y-intercept, what are we doing? Okay, I'm going to help you out because it's early, okay? But you plug in 0 for x, good, and solve for y. Okay, so y-intercept, I'm going to highlight this so that I can see it very well when I'm doing my homework because I'm probably going to forget. So for this case, if I want to find this y-intercept, I'm plugging in 0 for x and solving for y. So I'm going to write this out so I see every single step in my notes. Okay, so I plugged in 0 for x. What is 0 plus 9? Okay, so y equals log base 3 of 9 and then minus 1. Now, this log base 3 of 9 is separate from that minus 1. Okay, do not go 9 minus 1 and get 8. That would be incorrect. But do we know 3 to what power equals 9? What is it? 2. And so now we have this problem. We know that this is 2, and 2 minus 1 is what? 1. So guess what my y-intercept is? 1. That's it. So while that looked difficult, not so bad, right? Okay. Yes. So looking through this. 0 plus 9 is 9, correct? So we know, you guys, 3 to what power is 9? If you want to write this out here, this is 3 to what power equals 9. Okay, and we know 3 to what power? It's 2. And then you bring down that minus 1, and 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, now I want you to try to do this one. So again, what are we going to do? Just in case, we're going to plug in 0 for x. If it doesn't say the base, what base is it? Very good. Okay, I'm not going to write anything else. I'm going to give you guys a minute. When you get your answer, show me on your fingers. Good. No, yes, 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 yes. Good, 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 good. Perfect. Okay, good job. The majority of you guys gave me an answer. Well done. You're waking up. Okay, and so log base 10, 0 plus 1 is what? 1. Okay, and so log base 10 of 1, that is saying 10 to what power equals 1? Well, the only way to get a 1 here is by what power? 0. And so we have 0 plus 3, so therefore y equals 3. Any questions?